Hey, welcome back. We are at part 5 of the Out of Park series. Again, the game comes out tomorrow. So I am trying to get as many games done as possible to continue this series. This is still bracket 1, and we are still in round 2. Um, as you can see, we're going to start off this series, this episode, with the Orioles against the Braves. The Braves again was one of the teams that they won their first round series, and I already set up the loading here. So all we have to do is hit create. I say no shot in the world that the Braves even belong in this series, but the Braves had really good pitching back then, so they're always apt to surprise. Okay, good pitching, 2-1. And the Orioles came back with good pitching and win game 2. Brady shows some offense. Greg Maddox is a beast. Orioles come back. Orioles can win the series here, and they do. So the Orioles oust the Braves 4-2. So the number 9 ranked Orioles, they get to continue on. I would have actually been shocked if the Braves would have been able to do it because they were such a long shot to make it. Okay, next up is the 2006 Tigers. Sorry, I got that. And the 1945 Cardinals. Sorry again. Let's see. I'm going to go with the 06 Tigers. They had way more offense than the 45 Cardinals. Yeah, and in 06, I was right though. It's like even though the Cardinals were higher ranked, the Tigers just dispatched them in 4 games. So it's like it should be an interesting series with the Orioles and the Tigers in the next round. Unbelievable. Guess who's back, guys? The 1911 Cubs. Why? Because the Cubs just seem like they're always playing in these series because they had so many great years of so many great teams. And they get to play the 1985 stinking Mets. The stinking Mets won 98 games that year. History's going right and everything. It's like the way these games are going. The Mets are probably going to win this one. They're ranked higher, so technically they should actually take care of the Cubs. And that's why you play the games. Cubs win the first game, they win the second game. Mets come back. Mets win again. Again, this is they're winning on the away stadium. King Cole, 8 to 9 months. Ouch. You know, we don't carry over injuries here. So it's just this series that it's the injuries for. When you lose a starting pitcher like that, that's kind of painful. But it doesn't really matter because they wound up winning the series. So the 1911 Cubs continue on, winning the series 4-2. Next up, we got the 1986 Angels. And they will be facing the 1978 Red Sox. There's similar arrows here. I mean, look at the starting number one starter is Dennis Eckersley, who's prominently known as a closer, was the starting pitcher here. And the 86 Angels just crushed. They just crushed the Red Sox of 1978. It's just not even close. I mean, they tried. I mean, most of the games were close. I mean, I would say Game 3 was the only one that was a blowout, but still, the Angels just swept it, and they will get to face off against those 1911 Cubs, so that should be an interesting series. Next up, we're going to have the 1956 Dodgers. Dodgers from Brooklyn. They are going to go against the 1980 Kansas City Royals. Those 1980 Kansas City Royals and stuff, they had it was a really, really good team. They ran into a Phillies team that was destined to win the World Series. It was just destiny right there, and Kansas City was just unfortunate that they ran into a team like that. But it's like the 56 Dodgers can be what is one of the well-known Dodgers clubs and stuff in the 50s, so it should be a good match. Oh, and the Dodgers destroyed the Kansas City Royals in Game 1. Kansas City says, we got some pitching. And then Brooklyn comes back and says, we do too. Kansas City says, yeah, we still got it. We're up tied 2 games apiece. Brooklyn comes back with a shutout. He shuts them out 6-0. And the injury doesn't matter because the Brooklyn Dodgers win Game 6 and win the series 4-2. So Brooklyn advances, and so there's no shot of the 1980 Royals meeting up at any time against the Phillies. And you're not going to believe who's playing next. I mean, I feel like I'm saying their name like every other sentence, and it's like generally it's like if I'm thinking a team that I'm going to be saying over and over again, I would think I would be saying it's like the Yankees and the Yankees and the Yankees. I'm not saying that. I'm actually saying the Chicago Cubs. We're playing the Chicago Cubs from 1928. Obviously, they didn't win it all. I mean, they won 91 games, which qualifies them for this tournament. But they're going to go up against one of the best Phillies teams from the 1970s, and that is the 1977 ball club. They won 101 games, which I believe was their best record until the 2011 Phillies, which the 2011 Phillies, I think, won 102 games. So I think the Phillies should actually dispatch of the Cubs rather easily here. Carlton is just a beast. And as I suspected, the Phillies were just dominant back then. And the Phillies with Steve Carlton on the hill and as Steve Carlton the MVP, just they basically just swept through the Cubs in 4 games. I mean, look at those ERAs. I hit Steve Carlton 1.29, Larry Christensen 1.5, and Twitchell 1.5, and the bullpen just gave up nothing. I mean, you didn't need much offense. It's like Lizinski had 2 home runs, Hebner had a home run, Todd Stone had a home run. It's like Mike Schmidt hit 182 for the series. He was horrible, but it didn't matter. So when you dominate like that and everything, it just doesn't matter. But they're going to be facing against the 1956 Dodgers team in the next round. So good luck to that. That's just going to be a heck of a series. Next up, we're going to have the 1993 White Sox. 94 wins in 1993. They're going to go up against one of the Dodger nemesises of the 50s. They're going to go up against the 1955 Yankees. So I'd be shocked if the Yankees don't win this one. The Yankees should take care of it. I mean, they had like such great clubs historically. And honestly, I'm a huge Phillies fan, but it's hard not to say, well, you want to have the Yankees and the Dodgers face each other in the 4th round. I mean, it's just like kind of like destiny that they would do something like that. And you can see here the Yankees are just walking through it, but White Sox came back. They win Game 3, but the Yankees are just too powerful. They have too much starting pitching and are just way, way too dominant. You just see this lineup and everything. Yogi Berra hit 3 home runs. Mickey Mantle had 2 home runs. Zach Bauer had 2 home runs. There's just too much. I mean, and the pitching, Whitey Ford, Bob Turley, you just knock. In a series that is short as this, I mean, you have Don Larson and everything, who pitched it out of bullpen and everything. They're just way, way, way too dominant. And it's hard not to believe that they won't go deep into this tournament. But there's a lot of great teams, so it literally is hard to say and everything who's going to actually make it through. I'm going to say it again: the 06 Cubs, the #1 seed of this whole entire thing, was eliminated in the first game. We just thought that was going to be a blowout. I thought it was like, oh, that's going to be 4-0. That's going to be nothing. And they just destroyed them. Well, next up we got the yeah, that's wrong. I went to 2000. The 2000 Mariners. 2000 Mariners won 91 games, and they're going to be facing off against the 1990 Oakland Athletics. Now, this 1990 Oakland Athletics team and everything is ranked 41. So, gotta give them a little respect here. 103 wins. But it's like you can see here that the Reds swept the A's in the World Series. So, they've never won anything. So, let's see if they can win something now. Wow, Sasaki for the Mariners is out. He's their closer. Nothing worse than to have a closer out there. It doesn't matter here because series is over. The 1990 Athletics win 4-2. Ricky Henderson, the MVP. What the? Oh, he was. Ricky Henderson was on both sides. I was like really confused. I'm like, Ricky Henderson, what is that? He was like kid 048 in the series. Oh, he was 1 for 21, but no, it's the Ricky Henderson of the 90 Athletics. He hit 333, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Just he's also was probably a nightmare on the base pass. So anyway, so it's like Oakland wins 4-2, and then Oakland gets the great win, and they get to face off against the 55 Yankees team, who's like dominant. So again, you can see who's going to match up in the East bracket. And then next up, we go to the Midwest bracket. And you can see it's going to be some interesting games here too. So let's continue on. Next up, more of those 1984 Mets. Just barely squeak into the tournament with 90 wins. And they're going to face off against the 1909 Cubs. This bracket 1 and everything is just filled with Cubs teams. You'd think one of them is going to go somewhere. The 1911 Cubs won. That was the only Cubs team that actually advanced so far. Looks like the 1911 team is the only one that's advanced. I would have never thought that the Cubs and stuff would be able to score so much against the Mets. The series is tied at 2, but the amount of offense that is being going on to the series is incredible. But mostly not with home runs. They're just basically hitting the ball around. Mets lead it 3-2. Oh, here we go. Now, let's see here. Basically been bullpen each way and everything. They're both 0-0 and low ERAs. And the Mets wind up winning 3-2 and win the series 4-3. So another Cubs team that is favored is out. So the lore of those poor Cubs, they have no shots. It's just the 1911 team, and it's the only one that's advanced. Next up is the 1931 Yankees. Those 1931 Yankees will go up against the 1982 Brewers. Let's see what we come up with here. Yeah, Babe Ruth in right field with Garrig's in first base, so it's like you can see that Ruth and Gehrig pretty much did nothing, and it didn't even matter. Milwaukee strikes right back. And Yankees strike right back again. We're tied at 2. Oh my goodness, the Brewers? Seriously? And the Brewers. 1982 Brewers beat the 1931 Yankees that had both Ruth and Gehrig on it. I mean, this wasn't their top team from that era, but it's still a stunner. So congratulations to the 1982 Brewers. They win the series 4-2. Wow, that does shock me. I was not ready for that. Robin Yount is the MVP. No home runs, 4 RBIs, but hit 391 in the series. Pitching wise, you couldn't give it to any of these pitchers. Next up, we got the 1958 Braves from Milwaukee. And they're going to face off against the 1949 Dodgers. From Brooklyn, right? You're in Brooklyn back then? Yeah. So, this should be an interesting series. The Dodgers are favored, but I would think that the Braves would be the better team. Let's see how that goes. Milwaukee takes game 1. Milwaukee takes game 2. Brooklyn takes game 3. A big offensive rush right there. Milwaukee takes game 4. Brooklyn comes right back in game 5. And Milwaukee takes it in game 6. Wes Covington is the MVP. Hit 375, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs in the series. Not extremely dominant, but still really good. Keep on thinking Milwaukee and the Brew Crew, but it's the Braves. Next up is the 2013 Rays. That's not right. 2013 Rays. Huh. Yeah, Tampa Bay Rays. I don't know why I couldn't find them. Against the 1943 Yankees. I mean, it's like so many players were like not around and stuff. But it's like got a whole World War II going on. I can't see anybody from that era actually winning this tournament. You look at everybody on the Yankees thing, and they're totally dominant ERA-wise. So, I mean, technically, it should be the Yankee series to win. But that's why you play it. They go into Game 7, but in the first two and everything, you could see the ERAs and the records. It's Yankees should be taking this one, and be shocked if Chandler doesn't win MVP. If they do, they do, and he does. So it's a heck of a series, but they shut him out. I mean, that's just demoralizing. I mean, the shame is let's see. I mean, David Price had a good series. He's just not as dominant, and it's hard to go. It's hard to go 3 games and play that. And it's like you pitched 22 innings. It's just amazing. So, a 4-3 win for the Yankees. Next up is our first interesting matchup where we have 2 teams going against each other in pretty similar eras. Oh, wrong time. We got the 2001 St. Louis Cardinals. They're going to go against the 2013 St. Louis Cardinals. Why can't I find them? No. Sometimes the sorting of this just don't know. I mean, the 2013 Cardinals are higher ranked, but let's see how we're doing here. And you can see the pitching matchups. I mean, it's like very interesting. You hate to lose a catcher. And their other catcher goes down. I don't have anybody else. There's not much I can do. But the 2013 Cardinals win 4-1. So, I mean, 4-2. I'm sorry. Last score was 2-1. So I knew the Cardinals were going to win. I just wasn't sure which one. Next up is the 1974 Baltimore Orioles. Gets more of those stinking Mets. That's how you know how much of a Phillies fan as I am. I'm just going to keep on calling them stinking Mets. I'll be a happy camper when the Mets, if they all get eliminated. I'm not a Yankee person. I like the Yankees either, but I hate the Mets a lot. I think I have respect for the Yankees franchise. I don't like them, but at least I have respect for them. I don't like Baltimore either. So, but Baltimore winds up winning the series 4-1. So those Mets are gone. but that wasn't one of their best teams either. So, Paul Blair hit 556 for the series. Didn't have much RBIs, but when you get on base that much, you're really going to help your team out. They could have went with Grimsley Jr. too. I mean, with 2-0 with a 1.29 ERA. So. Okay, next up, we got the 1912 Pirates. Those 1912 Pirates are going to go up against the 2007 Red Sox. I don't know much about the Pirates, but I don't see them beating the 2007 Red Sox. And as I was pretty much predicting, the 2007 Red Sox would just win it all. There were just too many good players, and Josh Beckett pitching and stuff. Matsuzaka was really good that year, but he got torn apart. But anyway, so Boston wins 4-1. And they were highly ranked too, so it's kind of fair that the way it felt landed up. Let's see, but next up is the last game for the bracket for round 2. And that will also be the last of this episode. We're going to have the 1921 Pirates, because like the Cubbies, we say Pirates a lot. And they're going to face off against the 1979 Orioles. And the Orioles, were they the team that faced the Pirates in that World Series? I think so. Yeah, they won the American League pennant that year. I just remember the annoying "We Are Family" song. Pretty much played the entire time, and it was just so annoying. I hated Pittsburgh. In Philadelphia, you hate a lot of things and stuff because nothing really was going good for your team. Pirates beat the Orioles 5-1. Okay, well, you're out 4 games. You can remain on the roster. Baltimore wins this one. Looks like the 79 Orioles are going to win it, but no. Pittsburgh battles back. But Baltimore wins this one. And Eddie Murray was the MVP at 292 with 1 home run, 1 RBI. But Flanagan, despite it's like you lose 1 game, but you had a 1.29 ERA. You should get a little consideration. I mean, 19 strikeouts in 2 games. I don't know. Sometimes I shrug with sometimes who gets chosen. But anyways, in the Midwest bracket, in the 3rd round, the Mets will play the Brewers. The Braves will play the Yankees. The Cardinals will play the Orioles, and the Red Sox will play the Orioles as well. So that's all for right now. Until next time, this is David B69. Please like and subscribe, and I'm out. Good night.